Welcome back to Dum-Dums and Dragons, where improvisers who've never roleplayed before journey into the world of Dungeons and Dragons. I am the Grand Wizard Bucky, your host. Our heroes have returned to Dumb Faerun and set out on a mission to liberate their friends. Juniper was concerned about Bucky's loyalty. Butthole declared war on the nation of Akka and planned to arrest his mom. And Quinny was named Chief Privateer of House Farch. What will happen now that they've discovered a Dragonborn under assault in the wilderness? Find out next on Dum-Dums and Dragons.
Butthole and Juniper, you are approaching a combat between a Dragonborn man wielding a sword against a bunch of frost sprites. And you've just decided to kind of rush forward to see if you can help. Go ahead and roll initiative.
Alrighty.
Quinny, you can as well, but you will not be participating in the first round because you are hiding in a tree.
16. Oh!
12 for Quinny.
Okay.
Appropriately.
Yes. Quite. Okay. So it will come as no surprise, Ryan, that you are up first. So Butthole, you charge forward. There's the Dragonborn standing over top of his friend the orc, who is bleeding into the snow. There's a toppled, kind of like one of those, almost like a oh Jesus, those carts with two wheels. You drag people around in them. Rickshaw, sort of like a tipped over rickshaw with some supplies, and 5 frost sprites just kind of attacking him. What do you do?
I think Butthole will just yell into the, run into the middle of it, yelling like, hey, everybody break it up. And then the guy on the ground, is he like dead or is he injured or what's it looking like?
Injured, yeah.
Injured. Okay, then I think he'll slap that guy with a with a boot. And simultaneously fart.
So a kick?
Yeah, he'll kick
what
him.
You're describing, yeah.
He'll kick him, but when he kicks, a magical little butthole will appear at the tip of his boot, and he'll fart into the guy's belly button. And you'll just see the magic rumble around his tummy to surround his body. And I will heal him.
But
these are the kicks that fix, baby.
But how does it... Belly button. What?
In the middle of his tummy, where a belly button is.
Yeah, so it just swirls around that little hole?
No, it goes in, and then it ripples out through his body because it's magic, Laura. I don't know if you know, but magic is different than other things.
All right.
Magic can do anything. This is a butt hammer power now. He can fart into things, not just around them.
It's just become so real to me that I forget where the line is.
We just need to make sure we never get injured ever. That's what's important.
Death is preferable to it's definitely like a cure is worse than the disease situation.
Moonhammer helps those who help themselves. So Butthole.
In that case, I am not going to help myself.
Butthole will heal the injured orc for 24 HP.
Jesus. All right. Yep. Sweet level 14, baby.
Break it up, you idiots. And he's gonna try to he's got his shield on. He's not ready to just have him leap at him, but he's trying to just wave around, treating it like a bar brawl because he doesn't know exactly what's happening.
Okay, fair enough. That brings us to Juniper.
I assume they have not broken up.
No, in fact, the frost sprites are actively turning their attention to Butthole. It's like if you walked into an old saloon, Moss would think, and the record skipped and everyone stopped playing the piano and just turned to the door. All these frost sprites are now turning squarely to face Butthole.
Okay, so I'm assuming these are fey creatures.
They are indeed, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is, out of a pocket in my side pouch on my chair, I pull out basically an oak leaf, because I lost my holy symbol. I don't have it anymore. So I've basically been gathering oak leaves and they're standing in for my holy symbol.
So wait,
and I've
just so I'm clear,
them.
you have a bag full of leaves, and just every time you need a holy symbol, you just draw a different leaf?
No, they're all oak leaves.
Oh, no, I understand that. But I mean, random oak, like just you found I just love the idea of like a bag of leaves. It's like this one. Okay, we're done with that one.
They're all precious.
I mean, the only other thing I'd like to point out in terms of holy symbols, I don't know if you remember, but a certain little goblin named Farch did give you a collection of faces made out of burnt poo that he considered very holy.
That did not make it through the portal.
That's
They're
the thing,
all
I
on
lost
Juniper's
everything.
body. So yeah, somewhere Xanthus and Bucarius have many holy icons available to them.
So basically, I've been like treating these as like my blessed.
I love it so much.
And I will use Turn the Faithless on them.
Tell me more.
Which I don't think
I have a car.
Which I don't think I've ever actually used before.
Hence why I ask, tell me more.
I've had it literally forever.
Juniper continues to be the most on-brand, like, surprise character where it's like, yeah, I don't know. I just draw out my sniper rifle. What? Yeah, I've had it for a while.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like a level 2 thing I get. Anyway. So I present my holy symbol, and each fae or fiend within 30 feet has to make a wisdom saving throw. And if they fail, they're turned for a minute or until they take damage. All right. So they have to basically like turn undead kind of kind of thing, but for fae.
Awesome. That's very cool. And I'm sorry, what kind of check am I rolling?
Wisdom. And the spell save is 16.
Okay. Ooh. Okay. 2 of them save, 3 are turned. All
right.
So 3 just kind of turn to look at you. How do you imagine this effect plays out?
I imagine it's like my gold, or I say gold, it used to be gold. My like oak leaf kind of emits like a little glow, and they like turn and see it, and just like the goodness, it's just like pure goodness, and they just like cannot behold it with their eyes, so they must turn away.
Cool.
It's very simple.
Yeah, no, I like that. So they their wings stop fluttering, like their icy wings, and the 3 that are turned just kind of drop, and you just see them like kind of like recoil from that, and then also look at the trees, and they start recoiling from the trees. Like the beauty of nature has overwhelmed them.
Yeah.
And also I think what I like particularly about the idea of using this particular symbol against these icy spirits is that natural, like they don't know leaves. Leaves are things they destroy with frost. So just that I think they're having like an existential crisis of like, wait, have we been destroying this beauty in the world this whole time? Like it's a plastic bag caught in an updraft, the most beautiful thing I can conceive of for some reason. Meanwhile, the other 2 are just like, they don't even acknowledge that their fellow creatures are shifting off. They're still laser focused on Butthole. Cool. Great. Good turn. Bring us to Quinny. You're observing this from the tree a little ways back. Is there anything you, even though you can't engage in the combat necessarily, I'd let you take a shot, I guess. But is there anything you think you'd be doing from back here? Anything you're trying to observe, determine, suss out?
Yeah. Is this very kind of like focused combat that's going on between this one remaining survivor and these 5 sprites? What's the rest of this area look like?
It literally, if you were to take roll me an investigation if you would.
Investigation, dirty 20.
Great. If you were to venture a guess, based on the tracks and the way that the rickshaw is flipped, it would seem that these 2 are likely doing some kind of supply run, and were ambushed. So from the looks of kind of the tracks, it's not like a clear line. It's kind of a jagged line. They were clearly kind of like almost driven off the road, it would seem. Cart flipped, and then the creatures that were pursuing them clearly attacked. So you're a little ways into the trees. Visually, you can kind of imagine this as the like if we're thinking like Star Killer base from the end of episode 7 of Star Wars, where it's just kind of like big tall trees, snow on the ground. You're off the path. Even the path itself was a little bit rough, like it's not like a paved road or anything. So they're just kind of in it's not even a clearing, it's just a space where there aren't that many trees. And these frost spirits just seem to have, again, they're on wings. You can think of these guys as like they're made of ice, like they, very jagged features, little sharp teeth, icy wings, spikes kind of coming out of their back. And their hands, as ice does, seem to kind of like shift into like stabbing bits, but also like very Iceman from X-Men, kind of like throwing like icicles and that sort of shit.
From my elevated position up in the tree, can I fire off Eldritch Blast, or did I spend my turn kind of investigating?
Yeah. I'll let you do it, but I think we'll say it's at disadvantage just because you were kind of actively trying to like get into position. It's less that you were looking around, and more that the way you were describing it is like, oh, like if there's an ambush or anything, I want to make sure I'm safe and far away. So there's that kind of like, oh fuck, like the combat's already happening, I got to help out. So
okay.
Yeah,
cool. What I'd like to do here is I've got a new Eldritch invocation called Repelling Blast. So if in this case, because it's a disadvantage, if Eldritch Blast hits, I can push the target 10 feet. So since I'm in the air, I'd like to actually push them into the ground.
Oh, cool. Sure.
To ground them and make them hopefully easier to hit. If I
can. I love that.
Cool.
And I'm a high enough level warlock now that Eldritch Blast fires twice when I cast it. So I'm hoping to hit 2 separate sprites.
On a personal note, warlock is my like character of choice, like class of choice for D&D, but I've never been this high level. So I am just a fucking kid in a candy store hearing about this. This is a delight.
So with disadvantage, that's a 19 to hit one of them.
Yes, that will hit.
The second blast will be I'm hoping to aim for 2 that are being engaged right now.
Yeah, of course. You're not going to shoot the ones that are like having an existential crisis.
Yeah. That's a 14, and then plus 8 is a number.
Yep. That's more than enough. Yep. It'll be 23, but you're good.
Thank you. Math. And so that's 1d10 for each thing. So 1 damage and 4 damage for the other one. And then they're both pushed just down to the ground. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Nice.
So that was 1 and 4?
1 and 4, yeah.
Right. Okay. So the blast hit them, and with just kind of like a puff of snow and sleet, they smash into the ground and kind of like stagger up to their feet. You can see sort of fresh icicles growing out of their legs to help support them. So their legs are kind of like little almost like tripods of frost, but you can tell they're a little less nimble on the ground than they are in the air. That brings us to the Dragonborn and the orc. The orc kind of like pats himself down and kind of like feels his belly button and looks sort of quizzically at you, Butthole, and he pulls a knife and kind of like holds it in your direction, kind of to keep you at distance, but then kind of like struggles to his feet and like pats the Dragonborn on the back. The Dragonborn just kind of looks to him and nods in a classic warrior, like, welcome back kind of way. And he's going to continue to focus on the sprites while the orc kind of keeps you at, not like he's not being aggressive about it. It's just that classic, like, we're survivors in a zombie hellscape. I don't really know if I can trust you kind of way. The Dragonborn will swing as he does so. The blast hits from the trees and drives the sprites into the ground. So he just swings kind of at the air.
Sorry, dude.
Just kind of looks at his sword like it betrayed him. And then coughs up some blood and kind of like nods to himself like, oh, you know what? I'm doing fine for a guy who's bleeding a lot. Bring us to the sprites. So the 2 sprites who were on the ground, they're companions. Laura, do they need to roll? Maybe you may not have this at hand.
Oh, once you turn them, if it's similar to the one that I have, they move their full distance away from whoever turned them for the following minute. So
for the following minute, or until they take damage.
That's fine. I think it's safe to say that these 3 then just fuck fuck off out of here. They wander off, sort of like flitting through the trees, kind of lazily, just like looking up at them, kind of like a tourist in cherry blossom season, just being like, oh, look at all this. So they go off to have, I don't know, a fucking Fantasia adventure somewhere else. But the two that are still in it, one of them, they kind of look to each other, and at this point, it's a bit of like, we're kind of fucked. So there's just kind of that like, comrade nod of like, it's been an honor serving with you. And one of them is going to just go sort of full carnage from Spider-Man, and just like shift its arms into blades and just leap at Butthole, while the other throws its arms up in the air and goes like, and suddenly the snow, he's a scat man. The snow around it just begins to rise, form into small balls, and just begin to pummel Butthole. So, sir, from you, I'm going to need a so one of them is just an attack roll for me. For the snowball swarm, I need a dex save.
Dokie. For the dex save, it is a 16.
Okay. And what is your AC?
Oh, man, he's raising that shield in the way. It's 23.
Lols. Okay. So the snowball swarm will start like just like exploding against the T-Rex teeth of the shield. You're still going to take some damage from it. You passed, but you'll have to take half. So that is there we go. Second. All right. So that is 21, but you'll just take half. So we'll call that around 10.
Okie dokie.
Oh, I'm sorry. Plus 4, so plus an additional 2, so 12.
Okie dokie.
So the snowball's just like, again, it's a flurry of these little things. They're not huge, but there's just enough that you're kind of getting pummeled and smacked, but you're able to kind of duck behind the shield.
While that's happening, he's getting hit going, it's still better than fire.
Yeah, and then the other one like jumps forward and like brings both blades in, and just like this amazing like leaping slash. Like a cool Viking warrior, and then both of its scythe arms just shatter against the shield, and it kind of drops to the ground and looks at its hands in disappointment. Top of the round, Butthole.
Okay, I would like to smush the magic one, please. So Butthole is just block the ones down, and it's just full hammer down on the magic guy.
You can have advantage because it's on the ground.
Dope. And that is a 25 to hit.
Oh yeah, that'll do.
Do a total of nice. So the base damage from the magic weapon is 14, but his hammer also is powered by the power of farts, and it's shimmering with the magic of Moonhammer, and he adds an additional 10 damage for a total of 24 damage.
Wow.
And this is the one that's throwing the snowballs?
Yeah.
So it's doing the whole like Night King, like arms in the air, Magneto bullshit. Just eyes closed, like letting the fury of the storm channel sort of through it. So it doesn't even see when you just bring this hammer down and shatter it like a cheap glass. So it erupts, and as it does so, the snowballs just kind of like fall apart midair, and you just get, it's like when like the bully skier in like a ski movie, like just pulls up next to you and just hits you with a dusting of snow, or like an evil skater in the Mighty Ducks. You just get blasted by like a little wave of snow. It's actually kind of refreshing, and to your point, it is not fire, which is just so fucking nice compared to what you normally put up with. So yeah, you're just fully adorably dusted in snow now, but it is very dead.
Yeah, and he'll raise his hammer again and look down at the one on the floor and say, "You should go after them," and just point to like the other ones that are running away.
It kicks you in the shin for 2 damage.
Kick.
Tom, I don't know if we're switching it around, but I do have an ability called a hammer hand that lets me take an additional attack as a bonus action. Would that be applicable?
It absolutely would.
Wonderful.
Little shit.
Yeah. So do I have advantage because it's on the ground?
Yep.
That's a nat 20.
You kill him and piss on the graves of his ancestors.
You just piss on him and he melts. Yeah.
No, do you know what we'll say happens?
Unsife says hello.
I raise the hammer to hit him, but the armor sprays him with hot yellow light. And he melts from the defense Butthole did not know he had an auto piss defense from the armor of Sunsight.
Yeah. So Sunsife's wrath is fast and furious.
Yeah.
Good.
Hot, frothy wrath.
Yes,
Good
the
Lord.
Butthole's
trickle
holding
of
the hammer,
fury.
just raises the shield out of the way and it sprays out of his codpiece.
Yeah, great. So the sprite does a full on like fucking Wicked Witch of the West, like as it melts down to the ground, and dies horribly, just so horribly. The other three again have fucked off to go have an adventure sent to royalty-free classical music elsewhere in the forest, Fantasia style. But the combat is ended. So the Dragonborn brings his sword down and kind of goes back to back with the orc, and he just says, "What is your intention for us?"
Well, I mean, my intention was to prevent you from getting murdered from those weird cold things. Those guys sucked. Quinny, you can come down now. Hi, I'm Butthole Farch. To run through the titles really quickly, head of House Farch, rightful ruler of Akka, former Godslayer, and sacred Butthammer, the avatar of Moonhammer to this world. But really, I just wanted to make sure you guys are okay. Are you guys okay? Do you need, like, healing or stuff?
The Dragonborn's eyes narrow. And he turns to the guy next to him and he says, Did he indeed heal you, or is this some kind of trick to steal our supplies? And the orc, again, just kind of pats himself down while still holding out the dagger. And he says, I feel a little gassy, but otherwise I think I'm fine. But doesn't necessarily mean they won't try and steal the supplies. So they both kind of got, like, they're doing like a very, again, kind of sad version of like, you stay back now.
I put my hands up at that point. So that, look, I'm a sheriff. Like, I'm not stealing from anyone.
And at this, the Dragonborn's eyes truly narrow to the point that he's almost got his eyes closed, doing a real French Stewart now. And he just says, "There's only one sheriff around these parts, and only one authority that rules here. Where are you from, stranger?"
Well, look, I said I'm a sheriff, not the sheriff.
Wait, who's in charge here then?
We are.
Okay, so
Quinny's here now. He's like, you guys aren't doing a great job, huh?
And they share a look. It's a little bit of like a Wet Bandits from Home Alone. Like, we treat ourselves high status, but clearly we suck at this. And so they kind of look to each other with a little bit of embarrassment and rage, and they turn back and they say, okay, sure, maybe, but nevertheless, here we stand, and these are our supplies. And
okay,
we
let's get this out of the way. We don't want your supplies.
Yeah,
Right? We've got our own.
Sounds like something a thief would say. Look at this one. He's wearing a cloak.
Yep. Hi, I'm a thief here. I don't want your shit. Looks like you guys are ready to die for your supplies. So they're either very important and you're very brave, or you're really dumb. What are you hauling?
And they kind of looked to each other and they said, food for the town.
Well, I mean, that sounds pretty important.
Yes,
okay.
It is for all of us.
We can walk you to the town as extra muscle if you want.
They look you up and down, and clearly these guys are lower level than you all are. So there's some concern here of like, yeah, hi, we're an armed gang. Just walk us back to your safe spot and that'll be fine. You can tell they need a bit of persuading. It's also weird because they're still trying to play the high status card, despite the fact that they are clearly not really there. How do you try and persuade them? You can also just straight up roll Ryan as a persuasion if you want.
Well, I mean, all right. So clearly, all right. Well, first of all, we got to get this out of the way. And he'll take out copies of his Moon Manments and be like, as I mentioned, I'm the avatar of Moonhammer to this world. So here's some Bibles. Also, we declared war on Akka. So are you guys like affiliated with Akka? Are you team zombie army or are you like against the zombie army?
They both look to each other like, against the army of the dead.
It's a cart of food, Butthole.
I don't know. Listen, they could have a guy in charge who eats. All I'm saying is, if you're against Akka, then we're allies, and I will happily put that in writing as the head of House Farch.
They kind of nod, and they try and do that thing where they're trying to have like a sort of voce conversation with all of you around, where the Dragonborn is like, I think she should probably talk to them about this. And he's like, yeah, I know, but like, what if they try and kill us and take our stuff like those last guys? And they kind of stand up and kind of cross their arms and say, we do stand against the undead. The town is where we make our stand. We are united. We are one. We are Annan.
Oh, you guys have Annan? We love Annan. She's in House Farch. She's our master of coin. And if you don't trust us, why don't your sheriff and our sheriff do a pinky swear or something?
And they kind of look at each other and said, no. I am Annan. And then the orc says, yes, and I am Annan. We are Annan.
Is there like an original Annan?
Stupid thing. Damn it.
I'm trying to figure out if Annan's dead and this is symbolic or if Annan's alive, but they're also Annan.
We're looking for OG Annan. We know the real Annan.
We are the real Annan. They say with utmost certainty.
Well, I
mean, changed my mind again. You're not brave, you're idiots.
Okay, take us to your town. This is all I gave you the pinky swear. I declared us allies.
If you're all Annan, then you'll want a Yevgenovich, no?
They look to each other and it seemed very confused. Is that some kind of weapon?
No, it's the ghost in this hat. And he just takes the top hat out of his tummy thing. And he's like, say hi, Yevgenovich. There.
Hey! And they both just like drop into fighting stances. And they're like, haunted hat. They must be with a car.
We're not going to kill you. If we wanted
That's what people who are going to kill you say.
I'm going to walk you through this, okay?
Also what people who aren't going to kill you say. Like anyone would say.
Yeah, just like, great point, Juniper, yes. I'm going to walk you through something here, you two, okay? We saw you fighting these little frost imps or whatever the hell. You were going to lose. Your buddy was bleeding out on the ground, and you were not going to take on 5 of these things. You were going to die. If we wanted your stuff, we'd have let them finish you, and then we could have taken care of them ourselves. You saw how easily we did that. Instead, we came in and saved you. Now, I don't know what kind of person needs more convincing beyond having their life saved that someone is trying to help them, but I don't know what you're asking us for.
Can you roll persuasion with advantage, please?
Oh, thank God for advantage. That was a bad first roll. Persuasion, that is dirty 20.
They're looking less certain about their position on this.
I point out, look at that guy. He's a puddle of piss now.
They kind of nod and they say, okay, well, I guess we just have to. I mean, they're either they'll kill us or she will.
I'm telling you, like, look, and I like flip up my eye patch and I have like the golden like eye of true sight, and I like, that's a combat wheelchair. Your basket of bread is like below our pay grade. We're doing you a favor.
And
his armor pisses.
they
as a
sigh.
defense mechanism.
And finally, the Dragonborn says to the orc, listen, honestly, I have lost a decent amount of blood. I feel like they could probably take us. And the orc is like, whoa, yeah, okay. All right. Cool, but just you'll have to convince the sheriff. She runs the town, okay?
Sheriff Annan?
Yes, we are.
You were all Annan? Yeah,
we are Annan.
Yeah, got it.
Man.
Come on.
I don't even know who you... This is... All right. That's
I
fine.
thought other clerics were annoying. Okay, so I'm going to heal you, and he'll just reach out and extend a hand with like in a fist, but with a little like opening where the thumb meets the finger, so it looks kind of like a butt. And then he'll just go fart, fart, and a fart will come out and just soar out of two little things up the. Is it not the orc was the one on the ground? So the Dragonborn's nose, and I'll heal him for a very stinky. Oh, that's a good roll. A very stinky 28 health points.
He like falls backward, be like, "Oh, witchcraft!" and then like stumbles and falls into the snow, and like clawing at his face. But then, like Chief Wiggum in that like flashback episode with Homer's mom, realizing his asthma is cured by the bioweapon she unleashed, he just starts breathing clearly. And he's like, "Oh, well, that was disgusting, but I do feel better. Thank you, stranger." Yeah, okay. Look, if you guys do go all murdery, maybe just remember the Annans who helped you.
All right, so, I mean, do you guys have like individual names, or do we just call everyone Annan and it gets confusing in groups?
Yeah, how do you distinguish each other?
And they both like do that, like, okay, let me tell you, and you just know. You know where this is going. You know you're just going to get more circular. We are Annan.
Okay,
shit.
you're Orknin and you're Dragonin, and that's what we're going to call you. Let's get these cards rolling.
Cool. So they, with your help, get the cart sort of back up. Once you reconvene with the rest of, I assume, are you guys just going on ahead, and then you'll get the rest of the convoy later, or would you rejoin up with your convoy?
I think it would make sense to bring the convoy to civilization instead of leaving them out on a road.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
I think they'll be trailing along with us, because we can't sending anyone on their own in infinite zombie territory is a terrible move. So yeah, we'll just go together.
So you get the caravan, and Bucky does his mend trick again to kind of get the rickshaw up and running. Maybe you like help like lift it up onto one of the carts, and together you make your way back along the path. You continue down the trail a little longer, and then sort of in the distance, you can see a large sort of 2-story squat brick building, covered in snow, sort of dark brick, with a makeshift barricade built around it. And even from here, you can see zombies caught in the spikes of the barricade. Doing that classic zombie stuck on a thing trick.
Mm-hmm.
They just moan and kind of reach forward, that are clearly stuck. The 2 Annans lead you past the gate, kind of waving to the guards that you can see kind of posted. There are a couple of archers, kind of with long bows that have them fully drawn, like in that shitty Robin Hood movie where they treat them like assault rifles. So they're doing that, like, we're holding it, but you can see their arms trembling because it's exhausting to hold a bowstring taut like that. But they're trying to look badass, but their arms are just like flailing and they're clenching their teeth. But you make your way past them towards the building. The building itself has sort of a bunch of small windows. It almost looks like a factory of some sort. There's a little kind of covered entranceway, and you see sort of an old sign, weathered by sort of snow and sleet, and just barely through it, you can see the name Klomp Samsonite's Winter Emporium. With a just a very faded snowflake design carved into it, and it looks old. Like this is not a new sign. So the 2 Annans sort of stop and say, the town will be suspicious of outsiders. We should warn you. You will likely face a very frosty and hostile greeting when you arrive.
Frostile,
yes.
Yeah.
The thief is very good. We Annans appreciate a good portmanteau. I just warn you. I suspect it will not be a hospitable welcome.
Okay, well, why don't you come with us so you can be like, hey,
we will. Just
okay.
the other Annans will be suspicious of outsiders.
Just a second. Quinny, do we have anything in this caravan? Because I don't know anything about this caravan that could be like useful for them. Do we have food or stuff we can give them or something? Because right now there are like 6 of us, and we got a caravan.
I mean,
the caravan was pretty picked over when
it was pretty tore up when we showed up. It was just Steve-em, you know. He was you know, just getting by. So no,
I'm not going to give him Steve-em.
Well, no, I'm not saying we should. Honestly, I think you can talk your way into this. I mean, it's happened 100 times before. You can probably bring these people outside. Like they look like they're, you know, downtrodden and disenfranchised. Like these are your people. These are the people that, you know, you do your thing and you lift them up or whatever. I don't know how you do it. You just do it. So, you know, fucking like when he's just like having a hard time complimenting you, but like, you know, just do it.
Quinny, you're so right. I didn't even think about this. Annan's already a member of House Farch. So if they're all Annans, they're all already in House Farch. Of course they're friends. And he just kind of like, between the two of them, they're both confused in their own way, having a bad conversation and ready to walk.
Right. So I assume you do your usual butthole Farch thing, just boot open the door.
I don't think he'd kick open a door when there's a bunch of armed people aiming at him. I think in this case, he will do a dramatic knock. Like he'll like roll his hand over twice as though doing a fancy greeting and then give a nice little tap tap.
And the door edges open and you see kind of a suspicious look. And suddenly out of nowhere, the door is flung wide and Butthole, you are struck by a tremendous force crashing into you. Can you roll me a dex save?
I mean, I can.
You're right next. You're like within 10 feet of me, so you can add 3.
That's not going to help as much as you'd think. That pushes me up to a 10.
Unfortunately, you fail. As the door opens, you are struck by tremendous force and knocked back 4 feet. As the happiest wolf,
yes, good
in the multiverse, looks down at you with wide eyes and says, "Snarf!"
And we both start dramatically licking each other's faces. Like I'm licking his, he's licking mine. There's rolling. We're both making barking, crying sounds. Like it's impossible to tell who's doing what. It's a lot. And everyone else can do what they're doing. He doesn't care.
I think Quinny, after just talking about how Butthole makes like these really powerful impressions on people, is just kind of like, yeah, stop playing around with the dog, Your Highness. You're a kingly guy who's going to help these people, right? Get up.
I haven't tasted this fur in weeks.
Oh, my God.
You know, Juniper, you've traveled far and wide in Dumb Faerun, attempting to stop the end of the world. And it was surprising to you that for all of the fear you had, the world did, in fact, end for a brief moment. But it was happier than you'd imagined, because as Quinny looks away in disgust and frustration at the, now having been king for a bit, knowing what's up, watching the self-proclaimed king roll around to the ground, licking a wolf, you realize that for a minute the world did end, and there was nothing except for 2 old friends and companions who had finally found each other again. And with tears in his wolfy eyes, Goblin Jr. and Butthole Farch continued to lick away for longer than was comfortable for anyone else, ending in a massive hug that warmed even this chilly town.
This episode of Dum-Dums and Dragons features the voices of Ryan LaPlante at the Ryan LaPlante on Twitter, Tyler Hewitt at Tyler_Hewitt on Twitter, Laura Elizabeth at EL Hamstring on Twitter, and our DM Tom McGee at McGeeTD on Twitter. This episode's sound was edited and mixed by Laura Hamstra, and Dum-Dums and Dragons logo is by Decapitated Markers at Decapitated Marker on Twitter. Our theme songs are And Now for That Massive Coronary and Skipping Through the Orchestra Pit Part 1 by Peter Gresser, and our ad music is No Control and Chiefs by Jazzar, JAHZZAR, all available at freemusicarchive.org. When it comes to Dum-Dums and Dice, you can visit our website at dumdumdice.com. Our Twitter and Instagram are at dumdumdice, and on Facebook at facebook.com/dumdumdice. But most importantly, we've got merchandise at redbubble.com/people/dumdumdice, or you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/dumdumdice. That's DUMBDUMBDICE. And tune in next week for more Dum-Dums and Dragons. Dum Dums and Dice has to give a special thank you to the supreme beings of our Patreon at this time. Christian Menicola, the Half-Blind Prophet. Christopher Little, Sue One, George Dolby. One True Artistry, Orion Birchfield. Lord Abradovic, Noel Lewis, Scott Garland, Anthony Griffin, Jordan Neesmith, Benjamin V, Gavin and Abby McDonald, Cade Peters, Richard Cranium, Anna Zed, Eric Williams, Logan, Fire Unfriendly, Acrix, Cameron Ezel, Grandma Likes D&D, Austin Nut Powers Fry, Stabby Stranger, and Jill and Noel LaPlante. If you want your name to be added to this list, you can join our Patreon too at patreon.com/dumbdumbdice. Thanks to them, and a little bit of thanks to you.